Hello, Assalamualaikum friends. We are here for your English class. Ms. Shameela is here. Ms. Shameela, can we start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's start.
Assalamu alaikum everyone else. So as you do remember, few poems are remaining for first year class, and now we are going to discuss about one more
Acha,
poem,
Ms. Shameela,
Incident of the French Camp.
sorry
This
for
is by Robert
interruption.
Browning.
Sorry for interruption. Actually, I want to announce something. It is already announced, but I just want to remind our learners that we are going to organize our chemistry's mock test by 6 p.m. So the friends who are attending this class, they are invited to uh, participate in that mock test, and it will start by 6 p.m.
Sorry, I am not getting.
You didn't hear. Actually, I want to say with friends and learners that we are going to organize our mock test of chemistry. It is already announced, but I just wanted to remind them that it will start by 6 p.m. today. You should continue, move on.
All right. Okay, so where we were on we are going to start Incident of the French Camp by Robert Browning. And now, as you do remember that it is describing by a French soldier. He has told all of the story about the war, about the battle, which is in between the France as well as Germany. Okay? So now we are going to a little bit discuss about the Robert Browning, and then we will discuss about the poem. It is about what? G. Next. Robert Browning is also called the Victorial poet. He always start writing about the poem about the victory. Okay, now introduction of the poet. The poem The Incident of French Camp is composed by a great English poet, Robert Browning. The Browning was extremely religious, and because of his religious opinions, he was excluded from the university or public school. He was educated at home under a private tutor and spends his modest time in gathering the best literature in English, French, Latin, and Greek. As you know about it, there are some people, many people around the world. You can see those who are very much religious. They are touchy about the religion and they are taking care of these type of things that they should not have to move or the places where they don't like. So the same case with the Robert Browning, that he didn't like the place where somebody will misguide him or to talk about something else. He wanted somehow reservation. Okay. So what he has done, he didn't like the school or university, these type of places. So that's why even though he has taken the admission in the institute, but he has completed his degree at his home. Okay, he has just what do we say that learned from the tutors, and then because of the tutor he has know about the many languages as well, like English, French, Latin, and Greek. And then later on he started to write about the poem. He has taken the keen interest to write down the poem, and most of the poems which you will see, he has written about the victory as well, from where they are just fighting to each other, and what are the circumstances the people are going to facing, and they are just doing their efforts, they are fighting, and then the time will come when their efforts has bring some changes for their victory. All right, now next. All right. So as we have discussed about that, how the France has attacked on Germany and then how they have overcome. Now, on the other hand, we are going to discuss about the introduction of the poem. This is subjective poem. The incident reported in this dramatic poem happened in 1809. The poem, for all its weaknesses, is fast moving and exciting. The poem, consisting of 35 lines of regular rhythm. अगर हम इस poem की बात करें, so it is totally based on patriotism. There are two types of patriotism. One is civil patriotism, second is military patriotism. If you will talk about the civil patriotism, so do remember is that the civil patriotism means our common people, we people. Either if we have to sacrifice the life for our country so that it is difficult for us to sacrifice the life. Either we love our country, but it is not easy for us to sacrifice the life in the sake of our country. On the other hand, if you will talk about the military patriotism, that is another thing. In military, including the soldier and the JCO and the army and whosoever the rank has been given, so that do remember that their patriotism, their lifestyle is totally different. If they will have to sacrifice with their life, so that they will never ever think about it, they will sacrifice with their life for the sake of their country. On the other hand, we people are not easy to sacrifice with our lives. Now here, this is all about this, that how the France has attacked on the Germany and what they have done, what would happen, and then we will have to see that who has uh, got the victory in this poem. So let me start from stanza number one. Stanza number one. It is all about the stories and impressive account of the remarkable courage and heroism. So we are going to start first stanza. I am reading. You know, we French stormed Ratisbon, a mile or so far, on a little Mount Napoleon. You will see there was a mount, एक होता है mount 10 or a mount. It can be at this shape. ठीक है ना, ये जो नोकीली shape निकली हुई होती है जैसे अगर हम किसी को पकड़ के उसे बांधे तो obviously हम क्या करेंगे, we will tie the hand at the back. ठीक है ना, ये जो नोकीली shape निकली हुई होती है can be mountain or a mount. On the other hand, जो flat shape में आ जाती है ना, सीधी बिल्कुल ऐसे, either के mount तो वो भी होगा, that can be the shape, लेकिन अगर कोई इस shape में आ जाती है that is called mount. तो वह over there stood on a stormy day. Either they are coming too near to us, they wanted to attack over there, he was standing there with neck out, thrust you fancy how legs wide, arm locked behind. उसके जो हाथ थे, it has been just पीछे की तरफ उसने tie किए हुए थे, and then the legs can be widened, फैलाई हुई थी, और गर्दन जो है उसकी आगे से निकली हुई थी, जैसे अगर हम किसी को पकड़ के उसे बांधे तो ऑब्वियसली हम क्या करेंगे, we will tie the hand at the back. ठीक है, और जो की लेग्स थी that can be the wide enough. जाहिर है वो अपने आप में तो नहीं होता, somebody is forcing him to do और टू कैप्चरिंग समवेयर एल्स. ठीक है, तो उसकी भी यही कंडीशन थी. और फिर क्या हुआ उसके साथ, लेग्स वाइड, आर्म्स लॉक्ड बिहाइंड, बांधी हुई थी अच्छी तरीके से. एंड देन एज इफ टू बैलेंस द prawn bro oppressive with its mind. Obviously he was unable to either he do understand what they are going to do with him, but he was unable to describe by himself. Let me discuss in the explanation too. In this stanza, the poet tells us how Napoleon was waiting for the result of the attack on the city of रेटिस्बन. जैसा कि फ्रांस ने जर्मन पे हमला किया था, जर्मन का जो सिटी था रेटिस्बन पे, वहां पे हमला किया था. और वो जो लड़का था, वो जो नेपोलियन था, ही वांटेड टू सी दैट व्हाट वुड हैपन, ही वांटेड टू सी द रिजल्ट. ठीक है, नेपोलियन वाज स्टैंडिंग ऑन द हिल and was watching the battle from the distance of 1 mile. अब वो जो नेपोलियन था, he was standing 10 miles का थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस था. He was standing over there. He was worried and looking at the ground. His arms were locked behind and his legs were wide apart. अब देखें मतलब he was just shocked enough what would happen, क्योंकि वो कुछ कर तो नहीं सकता था but वो देख सकता था, he was able to see them. He was complete about the result of the battle, लेकिन उसको इतना पता था the battle is going on and in a battle what would happen that everybody could be died, or let me see who would be get the victory. So that is the situation where the boy was standing over there and he was watching, not standing, he was just laid down over there and then he was looking at the battle and waiting for the result, even though he was we can say that he was not completely conscious one. Somehow he was not thinking about like a normal human being. All right, next stanza. Next stanza. All right. Just as perhaps he mused my plans that soar to earth may fall. Let once my army leader Lanners waver at yonder wall. Out twixt the battery smokes there flew a rider bound on bound, full galloping, nor bridle drew until he reached the mount. Now, what would happen over there? At the same time, he was just thinking about that everybody could come at the earth. ठीक है, ये जाहिर बात है जब हमला होने वाला था, so everybody should be there. And then he wanted to see over there that why the people of Germany, the people of German has wanted to attack on them and they wanted to just take a side for that particular place. लेकिन ऐसा ना रहा क्योंकि वो चाहते थे कि they can just capture it, वो कब्जा करना चाहते थे और ऐसा लगता था कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि whatever they are thinking about it, तो something can be different. जैसा वो सोच रहे हैं कि हम अटैक करके और उन पे काबिज आ जाएंगे, हमला कर लेंगे, so that it could be possible or it could not be possible. लेकिन जर्मन जो था वो भी मतलब रेडी था और उसको ऐसा लगता था कि हम इन पे काबिज आ जाएंगे. So what would happen that suddenly person who is coming on the horse, he was coming मतलब एक जादू की तरह वो simply आया, पता नहीं था who he was, वो कौन था कौन नहीं था. He was coming and nearer to us and then he was just not to carry out to continue his what do we say, the travel. ठीक है, and he was just standing over there and then his horse was moving towards that side where the mount was over there. ठीक है, और वो घोड़े को लगाम भी नहीं लगा रहा था. दैट इज द बेसिक रीजन दैट आपको पता है घोड़े को लगाम लगाने की जरूरत नहीं होती. ही वाज मूविंग फास्ट. जब हमने रोकना होता है देन वी विल हैव टू डू दिस. ठीक है, वो सर पर दौड़ा जा रहा था एंड देन ही हैज रीच द माउंट. वो जब तक दौड़ता रहा जब तक कि वो माउंट की तरफ पहुंच नहीं गया. All right, so let me see. In these lines, the poet has described uneasiness of Napoleon, who was waiting for the result of the battle. जैसा कि हमने previously जिक्र किया that it was not easy for him, और वो टाई हुए हुए थे उसके hand, and he was just looking over there and waiting for the result कि अब क्या होगा. और even though he was also worried about the young soldier who brought the new victory of Napoleon, कि वो चाहता था कि जाहिर बात है नेपोलियन की विक्ट्री हो जाए. नेपोलियन looked worried and was thinking about his plans of the battle. लेकिन नेपोलियन भी अंदर से खौफजदा थे. वो सोच रहे थे whatever the plan we have made, ऐसा ना हो कि हम अपने प्लान में फेल हो जाएं और रिजल्ट अच्छा ना आ सके. He feared lest he should lose the battle. उनको ये भी ख्याल आ रहा था ऐसा ना हो कि हम जो है मतलब अपनी बैटल, अपनी जो जंग है वो हार जाए. He was waiting then when his commander Lance might give. All right. He was waiting that when his commander Lance might give him an indication of his success by waving a flag from the wall of the town. Normally you will see अगर हम sports की बात करें और any other place के जब भी कुछ होता है so that the flag is the sign of the victory. अब यहाँ पे भी जब when the battle is going on so that the Napoleon was waiting over there that के देखते हैं किसका झंडा जो है लहराया जाता है and because of that flag he would do understand that कि victory किसकी हुई है. Then suddenly he saw a horse rider running towards him. इतने में उसने देखा कि तेज घोड़े पे कोई शख्स है जो पूरी स्पीड के साथ उसकी तरफ आ रहा है. He was coming towards him at full speed. The rider stopped his horse near the hill, और आते ही was standing and waiting for the result of the battle. और वहां रोक के बस अभी वो खड़ा हो गया और उसने घोड़े को जो था बस मजबूती के साथ पकड़ लिया so that he would not be fallen down, क्योंकि उसको पता था अगर मेरा घोड़ा इधर उधर मूव करेगा तो मैं भी ज़ाहिर गिर जाऊंगा, so that he was holding his horse too. And then Napoleon जो था वो he was standing over there and waiting for the result of battle कि either who will win, France or Germany. Next stanza number 3. All right. Then off there flung in smiling joy and held himself erect, but just his horse, man a boy, you hardly could suspect. So tight he kept his lips compressed, scarce any blood came through. You licked twice, ere you saw his breast was all but shot in two. Now you will see over there it was very difficult for him to come down from the horse, but somehow he was just passing the smiling, and then जैसे तैसे वो जो था वो नीचे आया, और वो कौन था वो उस वक्त तो नहीं मालूम था who he was, but he was a French person. ठीक है, उसने घोड़े के बालों को मजबूती से पकड़ लिया था because he was not able to stand properly over there. तो वो घोड़ों के बालों की वजह से वो वहां खड़ा हुआ. And then let me see what would happen in this stanza. The poet tells the state of the young soldier. Basically वो कौन था लड़का, वो एक young soldier था. The young man was seriously wounded because he had shot in the chest. अब वो क्या reason था जो कि वो सही से उतर नहीं पा रहा था. The reason behind it कि उसको 2 गोलियां लगी थी उसके सीने में. He reached near the hill. उसके बावजूद वो जैसे तैसे he has come near the hill. He has reached over there where Napoleon was standing and came down from the back of the horse. ठीक है, उसके सामने वो घोड़े की बैक पे से उतरा. He was smiling and stood erect near the man of his horse. No one could suspect that his chest had been shot into two. ठीक है, वो जो था वो फिर भी उसके चेहरे पे स्माइल थी और वो मुस्कुरा रहा था, और जैसे तैसे वो घोड़े के साथ इस तरह स्माइली फेस के साथ खड़ा हुआ था कि कोई ही nobody will judge it कि उसके सीने में गोलियां ऑलरेडी लगी हुई हैं. He had held his lips tight. उसने अपने होंठ जो थे वो बहुत मजबूती के साथ दबा रखे थे, बांधे हुए थे, because he was trying to hide his pain. क्यों? क्योंकि वो अपना पेन, अपना दर्द शो नहीं करना चाहता था. He was fighting against that, क्योंकि वो मौत के करीब था, क्योंकि गोलियां लग चुकी थी. He would not be survive anymore. उसने अब बचना ही नहीं था. But still he was thinking about that nobody would know about it कि मेरे अंदर गोलियां लगी हुई हैं और मैं अब मजीद नहीं जी सकता, मैं बस अब बहुत जल्द मरने वाला हूँ. Now let me see in next slide what would happen in stanza number 4. Stanza number 4. In stanza number 4, well cried he, Emperor, by God's grace, we have got you, Ratisbon, the marshals in the marketplace, and you will be there anon. To see your flag bird flap his wings, where I to heart's desire. Purged him the chief's eye, flashed his plans, soared up again the fire. So what we are going to discuss over there that उसने क्या क्या फिर लड़के ने के he has just thank to Allah Almighty that we have won the victory. And then जो है फ्रांस का झंडा जो है that you do remember that it has been high in the air in the wind. And then you do remember उसका कलर भी I think 3 colors का होता है. I do not remember, maybe कुछ changes आई हो उस flag में. Let me see. So that the victory has gone to the France. They have won this battle. So let me see what it has been written in this stanza. The poet has described how the young soldier disclosed the news of the fall Ratisbon to his chief. अब वो जो था रेटिसबन का रहने वाला था, एंड दिस सोल्जर हैज कम ओवर देयर टू डिस्क्लोज द न्यूज. अब वो ये सिर्फ न्यूज बताने के लिए आया था कि हम जीत चुके हैं. ही टोल्ड दैट बाय द ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड that they had conquered Ratisbon and armies had entered the city. And he was also thanking to God that जो है इन्होंने conquered कर लिया है Ratisbon, and then the army has been entered in the city. He hoped that Napoleon would also join his army very soon. And he was also hoping that the Napoleon can also join the army. The young soldier proudly informs him that He himself had fixed the French flag bearing the picture of an eagle with flapping wings. Napoleon became very happy to hear the news. His eyes flashed with joy. He became hopeful once again about his future plan. अब जब उस लड़के ने ये बताया कि ये जो फ्रेंच का जो फ्लैग है वो मैं खुद जो है मतलब करके आया हूँ, मैंने खुद रेस किया था, so that everybody knows about that who is the victor one. लेकिन उसके साथ साथ क्या था, उसका पेन मजीद बढ़ रहा था, उसको तकलीफ हो रही थी, and it was very difficult for the Napoleon to see him continuously. तो he was even happy and but it is very bearable. अब आप अगर कोई मदर है या अगर कोई ईगल का बच्चा है, that is the example has been given over here. अगर उसका बच्चा मरने वाला है थोड़ी देर में, so it is very difficult for the mother eagle that she can see. वो बहुत difficult होता है, वो painful time होता है, that इट इज अनबियरेबल कंडीशन. तो वो क्या कर लेती है, आंखें बंद कर लेती है. और कोई भी हो, अगर हम किसी की तकलीफ नहीं देख पाते तो नॉर्मली हमारी कंडीशन क्या होती है, दैट वी आर क्लोजिंग आवर आईज, हम अपनी आईज को क्लोज कर लेते हैं. द सेम कंडीशन विद दैट बॉय विद दैट सोल्जर, कि उसकी कंडीशन जो थी वो पैथेटिक हो रही थी, क्योंकि आधा तो वो मर चुका था, अब थोड़ी सी बस उसकी जान निकलना बाकी थी. सो दैट condition was very painful, and then the Napoleon has closed his eyes and he became hopeful once again about his future plans, and he was just thinking about his future plan, and then he was very worried about him too as well. Now let's see in question stanza number 5, the chiefs, stanza number 5. Yes, the chief's eye flashed about presently, softened itself as her chest filmed the mother eagle eye when her graced eagle breathed. You are wounded, nay, his soldier pride, touched to quake, he said, I am killed, sir. And his chief beside, smiling, the boy fell dead. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पे क्या बात कर रहे हैं, नेपोलियन की बात कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि नेपोलियन को जब विक्ट्री का पता चला तो थोड़ा बहुत गरूर तो आ ही जाता है. So that he was also feeling pride over there. But later on, when he has seen the soldier, so it is very difficult to see the problem or to see the pain of that soldier. So in these lines, the poet has described the tragic death of a young boy. जाहिर ही बात है, sudden उसकी death होगी, 2 गोलियां लगी, उसके बावजूद he was just smiling. Who had brought the news of victory to his chief. अपने chief के पास वो एक news लेकर आया है, अपनी victory की news लेकर आया है, but unfortunately he was not anymore. Napoleon became excited to hear the happy news of victory. His eyes flashed with joy, but when he saw that the young man was bleeding as a result of deep wound on his chest, he became sad and darkness spread before Napoleon's eyes. He asked the boy if he was wounded, but the young soldier proudly said that he had been killed. Saying this, he fell on the ground and breathed his last. What would happen with him as he has told these words that the victory has been, this news has been told to him that they have got the victory, so that what would happen, he was means in unbearable condition because the bleeding was passing over there on the other hand. And then he has seen the darkness spreading before Napoleon's eyes. The darkness, obviously जब इंसान कोई मरने वाला होता है तो उसके चेहरे पे, उसकी आंखों के आगे अंधेरा आना शुरू हो जाता है. He asked the boy if he was wounded. उसने पूछा उस लड़के से कि अगर तुम्हारी ऐसी कोई कंडीशन है that you have been wounded, so that what would happen. He asked the boy if he was wounded, but the young soldier proudly said that he had been killed. तो उसने बताया कि wounded नहीं हूँ, बल्कि मुझे मार दिया गया है. Saying this he fell. बस ये कहते के साथ ही वो जमीन पर गिरा है. And then it was the last time, and then he was unable to take any more breath. He has died. उसके बाद ये न्यूज देखने के बाद वो जो है खत्म हो गया है. So there are, you will see the patriotism, उसकी एक स्प्रिट थी कि either he wanted to tell this news to everyone else. वो आया उस जज्बे के साथ, उसने वो न्यूज बताई, until end वो जितना बेयर कर सकता था उसने किया. But that is the thing not in our mind. हम लोग इस तरीके से नहीं है, इस जिस तरीके से military people है, either they are very sincere regarding their country. All the time they are ready to fight with the enemy country. अच्छा, यहाँ पे क्या है, there are some difficult words which we are going to discuss, that how to pronounce them and what is the meaning of those difficult words, so that one by one we are also going to discuss those words. Next. All right, you will see Ratisbon. As we have told you, this is a German Regensburg, a city in Austria. उसके बाद आ जाते हैं storm, sudden violent attack, out thrust, extended forward, fancy, imagine, oppressive, domineering, harsh, compressed, pressed together, flag bird, and imperial eagle on the French flag, erect, raised, lance, a journal in Napoleon's army, bruised, wounded, horseman, long hair on the neck of a horse. So these are the meaning. There are some more words which are difficult to pronounce. We are also going to discuss, and pronunciation I have been mentioned. So next slide. Yes. Here you will see this is mount. This is mount. We will have to straight a sound of a W, mount, right? Which means that hill, log or hill. उसके बाद हम इसको pronoun नहीं करेंगे. That is actually proun. Proun means inclined downward, नीचे की तरफ. And second is not mused. This is called my used. Okay, that means thought deeply. Next word is twixt. That is not twixt, that is twist, and which means is between. Now bridle. This is AI sound. You will have to syllable over there. Bridle. The head gear used to control a horse. उसकी जो घोड़े की लगाम होती है, we are just using it for controlling purpose. Next is a nun. The pronunciation is a nun. Soon, nearby. Next is perched. That is perched. Sat on or rested. And next is sheets. Sheets means covers, right? Next. All right. You will see here some rhyming words so which can be denoted by A, B, C, D. So Ratisbon and Napoleon, ho and bro, plans, lens, flew, drew, joy, boy, compressed breast, grace, place, away, day, behind, mind, fall, wall, bound, mount, erect, suspect, throw, to, Ratisbon, Annan. So these are some rhyming scheme which you may know about is in these stanzas. Next. So now here we are going to discuss about some similes which has been mentioned in the poem. A figure of speech expressing a resemblance between things. पता होना चाहिए as good as ice, as cold as ice, as black as coal. So that here you will see the simile. His plans soared up again like fire as sheaths. Personification यहाँ पे हम देखेंगे attributing human characters to abstract idea. तो यहाँ पे हम देखेंगे wherever the people name has been mentioned which are expressing the idea we will highlight. So like purged him. On the other hand, we will discuss about the metaphor. Metaphor सबको मालूम है where we are not using as or like and then we are just comparing the things with someone else. So that is called metaphor. Flag bird flap his wings. On the other hand, you will see Sencodi using part of something to refer the whole thing, to describe the whole thing as a one, like a collective noun. You know, we French storm Ratisbon. Next. Now over there you will see alliteration. Alliteration, you must remember use the same consonant at the beginning of each word. देखें same आ रहा है यहाँ पे stood, stormy, let, leader, lanners, balance, bro, waver, wall, held, himself, marshal's market, flag, flap, soften, sheets, legs, log, horse, his horse, touch to the bruised breeds. So here you will see wherever we are using the letter in the poem, in the line, so that we will highlight as an alliteration. Next. Next. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the summary of the poem. So let me see what it has been written in a summary. We have jumbled down all the ideas which we have already discussed in the poem. So the ideas are, in this poem, Browning paints the picture of an incident of the French camp in dramatic version, describes the heroic action of a wounded soldier whose heroic devotion to duty and his pride in it and inspiring and worthy of admiration. The poet has given a poetic amount of the incidents that took place during the attack of French army and German city Ratisbon. दोनों के दरमियान आपको पता है that has been the battle has been started, and then in their heroic action the one soldiers has been wounded enough. Alright, during the attack of French army on Ratisbon, Napoleon was much worried about the result. Napoleon देख रहा था and he was very much worried about it. Germans were defending Ratisbon. German जो थे वो defend कर रहे थे Ratisbon with a great determination and courage. Napoleon's future plan depends upon the result. Napoleon was not able to conquer Germany and neighboring states. He was standing on mount near the battlefield and watching the war. They were not able to conquer the French. Next. उसके बाद अचानक से क्या हुआ? All of the sudden rider appeared from the closed smoke. Of the closed smoke and dust. Full galloping, he approached near the mount where Napoleon was standing. एक rider suddenly appeared हुआ, which we were discussing, and he was running to. He was just riding the horse, and the horse was coming near to the mount. As they came closer, Napoleon noticed that he was a young boy, seriously wounded, and not far from his death. वो जो नेपोलियन था, he has guessed enough कि ये जो लड़का है ये मुझे ठीक नहीं लग रहा, मुझे नहीं लगता कि he would be anymore. And as he was coming to close, so that he has noticed he was seriously wounded. जैसे ही उसके करीब आया तो उसके लगा कि ये तो इतना ज्यादा wound हुआ हुआ है कि इसकी तो डेथ हो जाएगी. As he came near, he jumped off the horse and gave happy news of victory. जैसे ही वो नीचे घोड़े से उतरता है, वो सबसे पहले खुशखबरी सुनाता है कि हम जीत चुके हैं. He exclaimed with a joy that French had conquered the Ratisbon, के फ्रेंच ने conquer कर लिया है, फतह कर लिया है Ratisbon, and he himself has hoisted the flag of France on German city. और वो कहता है मैंने खुद जो है हवा में झंडे को फ्रांस का जो झंडा है वो मैंने लहराया. With a little touch of pride and light tone, he informed Napoleon that he has played an important role in the victory at the risk of his life. उसने अपनी लाइफ का रिस्क लिया और उसने ये काम किया. वो बताना चाहता था नेपोलियन को. Actually, he expected some words of the appreciation from his emperor. अब आपको भी पता है अगर हमारा कोई लीडर है, so that if he or she will speak some encouraging words so that we will feel happy internally, हमें एक अच्छा feel आता है. So that he was also wanted the appreciation. जबकि उसे पता था I will not be anymore, लेकिन उसके बावजूद वो आया ये news देने के लिए, so that the emperor would appreciate to him. So we can say that a work of real merit wants favor at last. Next. Napoleon was very much delighted by the news of victory. He reflected an expression of joy just for a moment, but he quickly connected his feeling. In fact, he had noticed, showing concern, he asked the young boy about his injuries. वो नहीं चाहता था कि मेरी इंजरी के बारे में anybody knows about it. He didn't connect it, but unfortunately, the scene has been changed when the bleeding was passing over there, so that they may know, and then the injuries they may not about it, but unfortunately he was not anymore. So here they are showing the patriotism, that how he has sacrificed his life for his country. Next. Now there are some textual questions which we are going to discuss here. Who do you think is the narrator of the poem? तो आपको पता होना चाहिए वो जो फ्रेंच सोल्जर था, बेसिकली ही वाज टेलिंग द स्टोरी, हु हैज नरेटेड द स्टोरी, सो फ्रेंच soldier who guarded Napoleon in the narrator of the poem. Next, sorry, where was the narrator and when the incident happened? So that the narrator was at the French camp in the war of 1809 between France and Austria. Number 3 is who took the city of Ratisbon by storm? So the French army took the city of Ratisbon by storm. वो एक जब लड़ाई चल रही थी, जो बैटल फील्ड में आपको पता है सब कुछ होता है, तो then you know the dust is spreading everywhere else and that means that the army took the city of Ratisbon by storm. जब वो आपस में लड़ झगड़ रहे थे, so that the condition, or we will say that the environment just like a storm or dusty. Next. All right, here, where was Napoleon standing on the day of attack in the city? Yes, in the city of Ratisbon. अब यहाँ पे ये क्या बात कर रहे हैं कि नेपोलियन कहाँ था जब अटैक हुआ रेटिसबन पे? द फ्रेंच एम्पियर नेपोलियन स्टूड ऑन अ हिल लॉक जस्ट अ माइल अवे. आपसे पहले भी जिक्र किया था 10 माइल्स अवे ज्यादा से ज्यादा होगा, वो इतनी दूर था, और माउंट के टीले पे ही वाज स्टैंडिंग ओवर देयर फ्रॉम द सीन ऑफ द ऑनस्लॉट. लेकिन उसका सीन वहां से सारा का सारा नजर आ रहा था कि व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन. On the other hand, describe the posture of Napoleon. So Napoleon had his neck sticking out and his legs were wide apart. He had his arms joined behind his back and cloud on his brow was quite visible. अब जैसा कि मैंने बताया कि नेपोलियन के साथ क्या हुआ था, नेपोलियन जो था उसकी जो नेक थी वो साइड में बिल्कुल स्टिकिंग हुई हुई थी, उसकी जो लेग्स थी वो बिल्कुल वाइड थी, एंड देन उसके जो बाजू थे, आर्म से, वो पीछे से बांधे हुए थे. एंड ही अ क्लाउड ऑन हिज ब्रो, मतलब उसके जो ब्रोस थी, इट वाज जस्ट लाइक अ क्लाउड and he was just quite visible. Everybody can see it quite easily, or visible to everyone else. Number 6 is who came galloping on a horse to Napoleon. अब वो कौन था? a young friend जो न्यूज देने के लिए आया था घोड़े पे बैठ के. So he was a young soldier came galloping on a horse to Napoleon. Napoleon को वो ये न्यूज देना चाहता था and he was coming towards them. Number 7 is what does the phrase full galloping suggest? Full galloping का भी यहाँ क्या मतलब है? The phrase full galloping suggests the rapid progress of horse. यानी कि वहां पे horse की क्या कंडीशन है? horse भी बहुत तेजी के साथ दौड़ा दौड़ा जा रहा था. Next. Why was the rider in a hurry? वो जल्दी में क्यों था? What is the reason behind it? The rider was in a hurry to convey the news of victory to the emperor before his death. क्योंकि उसको पता था मैं जख्मी हूँ, मैं ज्यादा जिंदा नहीं रह सकता, so that he was moving very fast. वो ये न्यूज जो है विक्ट्री की जल्दी जल्दी सुनाना चाहता था इससे पहले कि उसकी डेथ हो जाती. What did the rider do when he reached Napoleon? Then what would be the condition of the rider when he has reached over there? नेपोलियन के पास जब वो पूछा तो क्या कंडीशन थी उसकी राइडर की? सो द राइडर शोड नो साइन ऑफ पेन. वहां उसने शो ही नहीं किया कि मुझे कोई तकलीफ है, मुझे कोई दर्द है, मुझे कोई पेन है. एंड स्माइलिंग इंजॉयबल, के वो वहां पे मुस्कुराता रहा खुशी के मारे. एंड ही जम्प्ड ऑफ द हॉर्स एंड अनाउंस, उसके बाद वो नीचे आया हॉर्स एंड द हैप्पी न्यूज ऑफ विक्ट्री टू द एम्पीयर, और उसने जल्दी से वो न्यूज जो थी अपने एम्पीयर को सुनाई विक्ट्री की. Why did the rider keep his lips compressed? क्यों उसने अपने होठों को सिक्यूज कर रखा था, कंप्रेस्ड कर रखा था? The rider feared that any blood would come through his mouth. क्योंकि उसको लगता था अगर मैं बोलूंगा, सिक्यूज नहीं करूंगा, तो मेरे मुंह से ब्लड आना शुरू हो जाएगा, ब्लीडिंग पास होगी. So that he kept his lip compressed. That is the reason behind it. उसने अपने लिप्स को जो था बहुत ज्यादा कंप्रेस्ड किया हुआ था. 11 is where did the rider plant the French flag after Ratisbon was captured? उसके बाद वो क्या कह रहे हैं कि कहाँ पे जो प्लांट था फ्रेंच फ्लैग का आफ्टर रेटिसबन वाज कैप्चर, कहाँ मतलब उसे कैप्चर किया गया था? द राइडर प्लांटेड द फ्रेंच फ्लैग इन द मार्केट प्लेस ऑफ रेटिसबन. यानी कि रेटिसबन जो एक जगह है, तो उसकी मार्केट प्लेस पे वो जो फ्रेंच फ्लैग था वो वहां पे प्लांट किया गया था, लगाया गया था। नेक्स्ट, नंबर 12 is what was the Napoleon's reaction on hearing the news of victory? उनका रिएक्शन अब क्या था? on hearing the news of victory, his eyes flashed, उनकी आंखें बिल्कुल चमक गई थी, and his plans soared up like a fired, मतलब unbelievable situation was there. When did the narrator find that the boy was badly wounded? After hearing the news of victory from the young soldier, Napoleon noticed that he was fatally wounded. यानी कि वो तो इतना ज्यादा जख्मी है कि वो तो अब बच ही नहीं सकता. Now 14 is, why did Napoleon's eyes become soft as a mother eagle's eyes? क्यों उसकी eyes इतनी soft हो गई? जैसे मैंने बताया कि पहले तो वो गरूर में आ गया था. He was feeling pride. He was feeling that either they have conquer the Germany. As a Napoleon saw that the young soldier severely wounded, जब उसको ये चीज कंफर्म हो गई कि इसके बहुत ज्यादा तकलीफ है, बहुत ज्यादा wounded है, वो severely, his eyes became soft as a mother eagle's eyes. क्यों कहा गया है? तो उसने अपनी आंखें बंद कर ली, क्योंकि वो उसकी वो कंडीशन देख ही नहीं पाता. That's why he has closed his eyes, and then the example has been given as a mother's eagle's eyes. जिस तरह अगर ईगल का कोई बच्चा होगा और उसकी ऐसी पैथेटिक कंडीशन होगी, तो ईगल जो है वो नहीं देख पाती, एंड ईगल मदर क्लोज्ड हर आईज. So same like eagle's mother, he has also closed his eyes because he didn't see him anymore. Number 15 is, how did the young soldier face his end? So there was a smile of a pride and satisfaction on the young soldier's lips. He fell dead near his imperial feet. He was feeling pride and satisfaction too, क्योंकि अभी वो कहाँ था? वो under the feet of emperors, क्योंकि जिसको वो न्यूज देना चाहता था, जिसको वो बताना चाहता था, जिसके लिए उसने इतनी मेहनत की, so that he has come over there. And after telling the news, now he was in peace and calm. That according to his job, he has done everything else. He was feeling happy. He was confirmly satisfied that he was now under his emperor's feet. So now this is overall. And then do remember, whenever we want to do something in our life, so that we should have to give the high spirit. If we are having the high spirit to do something, so that we can do. अगर जब हम simply बातों में बातों को उड़ा देंगे, so that we are unable to do anything else. So we should have to do in a life as well, that whatever we want to do, whatever we have set our mind accordingly, we will have to do the work hard. अब either उन्होंने अपना mind set किया हुआ था कि उनको victory चाहिए चाहिए, they have done their hard work. So once in a while, if you have set your mind according to achieve the goal, so that the time will come when you will achieve. अगर आप mind ही set नहीं करेंगे, that is very very difficult to achieve anything else. So now thank you so much tomorrow inshallah with another lecture. I will come, and soon inshallah we will just complete it. So take care a lot. Allah Hafiz.